Alright, Shalom. This is Har 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, Leah by Hashem Hawashai, by Hashem Harakak Kwadash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. And Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This lesson right here is going to be based upon multiple wives, alright? I had a conversation with a lady, a woman earlier, and just a cashier at a grocery store. And every time I see her, we have these little tiny debates. You know, you just want to say hello, and they want to debate. So her whole new thing is the oldie but a goodie, the jealousy of a Jake woman, man. And her whole thing was she doesn't believe in polygyny because or a man should have multiple wives. This was her statements. When she said, "I'm done away with that." I'm done away with that. Aren't we done away with that? What else she say? I'm not sharing my man with nobody. See, that's a jealousy statement. You know, that shows that's it, man. In the kingdom, the woman gonna have no choice but to share. Put it like that. All right, they ain't gonna have no choice. And she was like, "Well, what about if a woman did it? That'll be wicked. All right, that would be called adultery. All right, if you look up the definition of adultery, it means a man sleeping with another man's wife, or a woman sleeping with two men. So that's still adultery is focused on the woman. Just like if the nation of Israel deals with false gods, we commit spiritual adultery. All right. So I want to get this definition of the word polygyny. Now, you have two words people always trip up on. You'll see a lot of people passing around the word polygamy. All right, let's get that real quick. See, what we deal with is truly polygyny. All right, polygamy has two definitions to it. It says polygamy is the practice or custom of having more than one wife or husband at the same time. See, so I mean a woman can also have multiple husbands under the definition of polygamy. All right. So now let's get the definition for polygyny. All right. POLYG YG. Let me just type it in. All right, polygyny, which would be YGYNY. All right, it got a weird spelling to it, but it's polygyny. All right. It says is when in which a man has more than one wife. All right. It's just a straight definition for it. Polygyny is the most common and accepted form of polygamy around the world. So it's like a form of polygamy, but it's being specific, saying a man can deal with multiple wives. Polygamy, it has multiple definitions to it, all right? Entailing the marriage of a man with several women, all right? Now let's get something right here. Now let's look up let's look at the word monogamy. All right, monogamy. This is monogamy. It says here, the monogamy, the practice or state of being married to one person at a time. So that means spending your damn life with one damn person. And, you know, that soulmate mess, man. That's not how it's supposed to be. All right. Yeah, and during the times of teachings of Paul, he told us to be the husband of one wife. On the spiritual note, that's talking about Sophia, meaning the scriptures. But on the carnal note, he was telling the men of the offices at that time, if they decided to take the office of a bishop, meaning the overseer of Israel, then they should just deal with one wife in the neighborhood. Just deal with that one woman. Because imagine a man showing up to a city and he like, I'm the person that's sent by the Lord, and then he start popping everybody's wife. Or dealing with taking wives from men. You know, like wife feeling this guy and then he like, I'm gonna take her too. That's why that's why he was telling the men just deal with one woman, man. All right, and it was time that those that had wives to be as though they had none. So he was saying, yeah, just deal with that one woman, keep you from being blamed, or keep the doctrine from being blamed. You know, damn neighbors, man. All right, so that's monogamy. So let's get this real quick. This is it says, when did monogamous relationships or marriage begin? All right, because a relationship, you can have that in any form, just friendship, anything. All right, but a marriage is consummated through what? Sex. All right, once a man has sex with a woman, that's his wife. That's his servant. The word woman means servant. She's supposed to serve him the rest of his life. All right, going all the way back to Adam, the Lord said, I'm gonna make him a helpmeet, a servant. All right, help him meet the duties around the household, and for her to manage the house. You know, he had animals and cattle and shit to deal with the farm and the field. He had the woman to deal with the household, to manage the children and cook. You know, and be a comfort to him. So you can look in the Strong's, you look up the definition of the word marriage, it's going to say sex, all right? Sexual cohabitation. Now it says, where did monogamous marriage begin? Ancient Greece and the Roman Empire, go figure. So it started in ancient Greece and it started in the Roman Empire for them pushing this monogamy, you know? Esau did everything against the scriptures. The ancient Greeks and Romans were monogamous in the sense that men were not allowed to have more than one wife or to cohabit with concubines during marriage. All right, so they had concubines too. So in this society, you can't do that really, legally. Get married to multiple wives, they'll throw somebody in jail. But you can do it spiritually and say, hey, this is my wife, this is my wife. But they would have to be servants, not saying, yeah, I guess I'll accept you. No, they have no choice. And the Lord going to make it that way. All right, so it started in ancient Greece. It started in the Roman Empire. That whole monogamous bullshit. Especially you can look at the Gadites. When you look at them, man, they were tribal. The man would have multiple women. Esau came to break that up, called them savages. So since then you have what? Women's lib. Look what women's liberation did. Look what them taking the children out of the households and putting them in daycares to replace a sister wife, to replace a midwife. So they put the children in daycares and put the women to work. All right, breaking up the households. So let's get some scripture real quick. Because when I was talking to that sister earlier, her whole energy was just like about jealousy. All right, that's all it is. It stems from jealousy. Sirach 37:11. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. All right, so that way it ain't worth. That's called gossip. You talk to a woman and she jealous over another woman. That's wickedness, man. That's gossip, and she has no idea what she's talking about. All right, that's not a woman's place to talk about a man and his woman. you know. Except for like if that was her concubine, like with Sarah. Abraham was like, yo, that's your concubine. Do what you want with her, you know. But when a woman, it says what? Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war. Right? Because they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. So, it's not worth talking about these women when it comes to matters of love or relationships or marriages. All right? Especially when they're a jealous woman. If they're, let me get this. Yep. All right, snares and nets. Because if a woman's heart is snares and nets, the Lord says she's wicked. If her heart is not snares and nets, not set up to trap up a man, then hey man, she might be cool. Ecclesiastes 7, 26. It says, I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, man. Being with a woman that's always trying to trap you up. At least in death, your spirit to have rest. Dealing with a wicked woman, your soul begins to grieve, And the woman and the reason of things, so like it's right because it's messing with the mind, and that's where the spirit dwells. I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands, man. All right, trying to trap you up. Being bands for the system. The system used the wicked women against the man. Child support, jail, domestic uh, uh, abuse. Beat on the man, and when the cops show up, he get locked up or shot. Calling the man broke and poor, and then he go out to the streets, try to make some money, he get locked up. He come home, catch her cheating on him, or whatever, man. It's too much power given to these women. The word woman means servants. Whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth of the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. See, a wicked man going to be taken by a wicked woman. He's going to submit to her, causing him to become wicked himself. All right, but a man of the Lord going to stand on everything that the Lord said, and watch these wicked women going to wind up leaving you. And what a wicked man going to do? Chase right after her. See that? But a man of the Lord said, what? Peace, be still, and know that he is the Most High. He is the power. All right? That's right, man. So here you go. Get one more real quick. This is Job 39. That's right. I'm just get to the point. Job 39:17. Because Yahweh hath deprived her of wisdom, neither have he imparted to her understanding. All right. So yeah, man. So the Lord did not impart unto these women understanding. They got to get it from the man. All right. When it comes to the Lord's ways, you have to get it from the men of the Lord. What time she lifteth up herself on high, she scorneth the horse and his rider. Sheesh. All right, so that's right. All right. There you go. This is Sirach 7. All right, so Sirach 7:26. 25. 24. Hast thou daughters? Have a care of their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them, right? Because a lot of times you have to be stern towards your daughters, you know, and create that friendship, but also keep it as a father daughter uh, tutorage, man, to where you always disciplining and teaching your daughter, you know, and keeping them dealing with intelligence and knowing what inner beauty is, and in the truth. All right, the scriptures say keep thy daughters in straightly. But you'll see Esau, they've been dressed up in the damn Cinderella dress, acting like a little girl to impress their daughters. You know, the Lord said, no, show yourself to be a man, right, as a father. It says, hast thou a wife? Oh, so like marry thy daughter, so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter. But give her to a man of understanding. See, the women supposed to be given to a man of understanding so they can get wisdom from that man. All right, not a man of money, not a rich man, not a military man, not an entertainer, not a sports, you know, supposed to find a man of understanding. Understanding what? The ways of Yahweh Shema Shai and his will. Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not. See, if a woman is after the same mind as you, being in order, and trying to be righteous, you know, believing in Yahweh Shema Shai, and not jealous, then what? That's like us telling the Lord, only deal with me. The scriptures say we're his wife, in a sense, his servant. Like, no, Lord, just deal with me. I ain't sharing my Lord with nobody. You know? Can't imagine talking like that. That's why I think somebody did a lesson. He said, yeah, even I think Apostle Ricard, maybe. He says there's a lot of men in the scripture that had to submit to other men, submit to the Lord, you know. But these women just don't want to submit. They'll be with you, but they won't submit, you know. What you want me to do? You want me to bow down to you? That's how they talk to you. So, but if you have a woman that's after your same mind, forsake her not, all right? But a wicked woman, the Lord said you're supposed to escape her. But give not thyself over to a light woman. I mean, light-minded, not deep at all. All right? So don't give yourself over to a woman that's jealous and can't understand anything. All right? So let's get back to the point. This is Sirach. (26) and 6. The Sirach 26, all right, and 6. It says, but a grief of heart and a sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman. And that brings grief of heart to who? The man. And sorrow. That's like hell, man. Hell on earth. Dealing with a woman that's jealous over another woman. You got all hell breaking loose around the world, then you got all hell breaking loose in the house. And a wicked woman, a jealous woman, gonna wind up what? Sleeping with another man. Then she gonna go to another man, and then to another man, and just waste herself. Or wind up hurting the man, you know, trying to injure him, or, you know, do some damage to his life and his property. You see the movie Waiting to Exhale, and she burnt the whole house down because of jealousy, man. Burnt his property, broke the law. You know, became a criminal just out of jealousy. Hurt the man that she said she loved because he decides to indulge in another woman the same way a man indulges in many flowers and shares his love with more than one child. He can't share his love with more than one woman. She called him a king. She called him a man, and that means she doesn't understand what a man is. You know, a man is the first. We were created first, and from us came we were established first, I should say, and then from us came the women. All right. Yahushua himself is a man. The Most High is a male figure. So that's a figure of dominance. So a man can't have dominance over his domain. That's the thing. In this society, we don't really have a domain. Our domain is minuscule. You know, in the kingdom, you have multiple wives. You have one wife. That's what I was trying to tell the sister earlier. You had one wife. She on her menstrual. You had to get out for 7 days, or till her menstrual was clean. 8 days. And then you had to go somewhere. You have another house, or you have another other wife's house that you had set up, or your other house that you had your wife in, your other wife in, or concubines. But in this society, where you gonna go to? Maybe have one or two, maybe. But they got all this shit all over TV and music and industry and movies, and these false teachers out here. That's why I say, scripture say, man, it's better that a man have one wife in these times just to play it safe, man. There's so many diseases out here, home wreckers, jealous women, adulterous men running around trying to sleep with your wife. You know what I'm saying? So, Sirach 26:6, but a grief of heart and a sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all, man. That's all she becomes, is a scourge, just scourging you with her tongue. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro, but he that have hold of her is as though he held a scorpion, man. So a wicked woman is going to wind up hurting you. You holding her to comfort her and to indulge in her, and she just poking at you, hitting you with poison that seeps into the body and winds up killing the spirit. Cause a man to become a jealous or violent individual, or spiteful, or doubtful, or depressed, and, you know, insecure, right? So, let's stick to the topic of multiple wives. I ain't gonna deal with a wicked woman. Let's deal with this. Let's go back to the law. All right, Deuteronomy represents the second time the law was given. Once they got to the land of Canaan or Israel, now the law was given again. Deuteronomy 21:15. If a man have two wives, see, it's in the law what a man should do if he has two wives. See, the Most High, if he was against it, he would have said it right there. You know. But instead, he's told us how to deal with it if you have multiple wives and you have one child from one wife that you kind of ain't feeling. You know, how to deal with that. You know, but you can have a wife that you ain't feeling. You can say, I ain't really digging her. Just like Hannah, I think, Panah, I might read that too, that story. Yeah, I might go into that. Because this right here is more so dealing with the children. If a man despise, let's read it. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, right? This is it right here. Both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he have, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. All right. So, and that's just it, man. So, That's deep. All right. So if you have a wife, you had two wives, and you dislike one of them, she become wicked to you, or you just ain't digging her. You can't really put her away, but you can stop dealing with her. However, and she got a son by you, you still gotta love that child. All right. And ultimately, you gotta show that child more love for the lack thereof. And give them the first inheritance. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all that he hath. For he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his, man. Just like us, we were hated. The Lord was upset with us. Now we got the blessing over Esau, the firstborn. All right. So, yeah, man. So it's telling you how to deal with two wives. All right. That's an order. Let all things be done decently in order. See, it's in the law. All right. A man doesn't have to love his wife. He has to be respectful and don't harm her, because that's still the Lord's property. For no reason, and shit, just beating the shit out of her. Scripture say a man with his wife is as a ship to the sea, but I don't mean you can walk around just beating the shit out of her. All right, I don't respect a man that just beat their wife and then go to the Lord and be praying for forgiveness. Beating the shit out of their woman. But then how should I deal with them? They ask for mercy. That's some coward stuff, man. If anybody out there beating their woman. All right, it'd be more manly for you to be able to just lose her, or you move on, or create the space that you need. All right, or read the scriptures and deal with wisdom, and realize that none of us are without sin, so we shouldn't be casting those physical stones at nobody. I ain't hurting anybody physically. All right, so that's in the law, two wives. Exodus, let's get this, Exodus 10 and 21. Because you had, all right, because if you had a servant, you had Israelites that would work for other Israelites, or they didn't have anywhere to go, or didn't know their place in Israel, so they become a servant to another Israelite, right? Now, what if that servant had a wife? Or what if that servant was a woman? All right, and the man took her to himself, but didn't have sex with her. He saved her for his son. Or if he kept her for himself, then he couldn't sell her to a foreign nation. That's like whoremongering. But he can keep her, or he can let her go free. Now, it was two different laws. It was a law for a man if he was the servant, and it was a different law for a woman. All right, so let's get into that real quick. Exodus 21 and 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before thee. These judgments, right? If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve thee, and in the 7th he shall go out free from thee. All right, free for nothing. So that's a year of release, right? 7-year release. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself, right? Because a man was made to be a man, If a man served you for 6 years, 7 years, then he's done after that. He can stand on his own, save up, whatever. He should go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. Why? Because that's his property. All right? That's right, because you can't take it. Sit not at all with another man's wife. All right, let's get this real quick. Man, here it is. Where is it at? My bad, Salaki. All right, this is Sirach 36 and 24. It says, That's right, man. Here you go. 22. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. So a woman that's beautiful inside and out, it'll cheer your countenance up, man. That's the best prize you can have on earth. You know, besides wisdom, you know, that's spiritual. But I'm talking about as far as diamonds and gold, what do they call it? Booty. I'm just saying, you know, that's what they call it. All right, treasures. A woman will receive every where is it? If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men. Man, if it's kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, man, that's a strong. That man would be different than other men. You know, they say nothing better than behind every strong man there's a strong woman. You know, I don't mean nowadays the definition of strength is money, and a wicked woman being mean to her husband. That's strong. But strength used to be in spiritual, kindness, meekness, comfort. Now we get all that from the scriptures. Then is her husband not like other men? All right, so now our wife, Sophia, the scriptures, has made us not like other men. You know, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, a pillar of rest. See that? So we're supposed to be helpmeets to Yahushua, and now the women are helpmeets to us, supposedly. A pillar of rest, man. Rest from what? This world and the work. Right? Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. So that's why the woman supposed to have a hedge around her. Supposed to have a man. You know, just like sheep. You're not gonna have just one sheep. You're gonna have multiple sheep. Plural. You set a hedge around them, protection. Just like the men, okay? So so where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, man. That's why a woman has to have a head. All right? Like a body with no head on it. And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning, man. See, the Lord made us together. You know, America thinks differently with these letter communities and the depopulation, the separation of the matrimony in the household, tearing apart the households. But a man desires a woman, you know, a reflection of himself. All right, and that's why women get mad at us. See, we desire our women. We want to love them. We want to love these women. We want to care for them. We want them in our possession. A lot of men be like, yeah, you women. They know damn well they get that woman up with her. They gonna turn into Huggy Bear and shit. They gonna be in there singing like Gerald Levert. Saying when I be out there, you women ain't shit. And we're saying that because it's the truth right now, man. A lot of these women, the way they act, you know. So let's get back to Sirach 26 and 6. Matter of fact, I'm going to go over here. Verse 1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be doubled. Less stress, man. Less stress and less mess. You know, his days shall be doubled. All right. A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. Think about that. Instead of with jealousy, which brings what? Sorrow of heart. You know, and scourge of the tongue as a jealous woman. No, where was I at? Actually, I was here. I wasn't there. I was at First Chronicles 2:26. I was at Exodus 21:1. That's where I was at. All right, Exodus 21 and 4:3. If he came in by himself, talking about a servant, if you had a servant, somebody working for you, and he had a wife with him, or if he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. All right. So you couldn't deal with his wife, even though that was your servant. Esau, they did differently. They had us in slavery, and they would pop our wives, and they didn't let us go. And if the servant shall plainly say, "I love my master," in this sense, it would be his brother, another Israelite. "My wife and my children, I will not go out free." Meaning all right. So if he showed up and he didn't, so like I skipped the part. If his master have given him a wife, see that, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. So if you gave him a wife, then that woman would be your servant. Deep. And if the servant shall plainly say, "I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free," then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Man, so it put a bone through his ear. And that's what Esau trying to do with the MOTB. All right, but it's just not bore through. This is going to be pricked into. Big difference. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall go out as the men servants do. Okay, so if he sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall go out. She shall not go out as the men servants do. All right, so if a woman is your servant, she's not going to go out after 7 years or for any reason. If she please not her master, who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. Maybe like, give her back to who she came from, like the dad or something. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power. So you can't be a whoremonger or sell her off to somebody else, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, so if you kept the woman a servant, and you said, "I'm gonna keep her and give her to my son," he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. So it's gonna wind up being your daughter. All right. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So if a man would have brought on another wife into the scene, he still had to take care of this other female that was his servant. All right, whether it be like a daughter to him or a future wife. See that? So the Lord didn't despise that. He showed us how to deal with it. All right. So, and if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So he had to deal with the wife and that woman and take care of both of them as best he could. In this society, we all take care of each other. All right, and our money is what? The scriptures. So a man can provide for you in understanding and in the scriptures. And you can have a woman can work nowadays, A man gonna most likely get fired if he's an Israelite at some point. He's gonna be bouncing around job to job. Called an unstable life, household, or finances. So a woman gotta be solid, man. She gotta understand that and see the trick of the enemy to give the women the jobs. longer or whatever for whatever reason. The woman had to stay strong at work and deal with all the wiles of the devil and these wicked men and these wicked women. So if you're in this truth, it takes a lot, you know, for the men and the women in the fight, the spiritual fight, to stay faithful to the Lord and to your head. All right. So that's why a household with a man and a wife, or a man and women, need to understand these scriptures that I'm speaking on today as a foundation. All right, let's get a couple more, man. This is speaking about what's the second, 1 Samuel 2:26. Actually, I'm gonna go to 2 Samuel. Get to this point. 19:5. All right, this is speaking about what is this? King David, right? When he was crying and grieving over his son Absalom, you know, and Joab was telling him like, "Yo, you just got the victory. Why are you mourning over this wicked son of yours for? You know, you're mourning over him. Why not love the people that care about you? You know, and a lot of us need to remember that. We'll be so focused on the attention or the appreciation from others that we admire, when we forget about the people that's around us that admire us, you know. So 2 Samuel 19 and 5. And Joab came into the house to the king, to my King David, and said, Thou hast shamed this day the faces of all thy servants, which this day have saved thy life. You know, because they had fought for King David against his son to save King David's life. All right. Which this day have saved thy life, and the lives of thy sons, and of thy daughters, and the lives of thy wives, and the lives of thy concubines. So he had wives and concubines, just like King Solomon, 1,000 wives, 1,000 concubines. All right. See that? So yeah, man, it wasn't a wicked thing to deal with multiple wives. All right. So there's many stories we can go to, but I'm not going to go too fully right now. All right, like 1 Samuel 2 with Peninnah and Hannah, and what's her name? Elkanah. All right, so you can read that in 1 Samuel chapter 1. Let me get this real quick, because this is what time we're coming to. All hell about to break loose. When the dollar crashes, which is right around the corner, like a couple of weeks, they're talking about regulating Bitcoin and coming out with a USD coin, which is going to cause hyperinflation because they're going to set up China as the new world leader over the market. It's going to be a digital market instead, which is going to cause hyperinflation at the shelves. And all these women working these back pages, Instagram, they're going to get butt naked on them Instagrams. They're going to do whatever it takes to get some type of money. And Esau going to make it harder and harder, tougher and tougher. And these women, they're going to break. At some point, they're going to break. They're going to yield to the system, or they're going to yield to the Lord's men. That's what time we're coming up to. A choice going to have to be made for everybody. A temptation that should come upon the whole world in different levels. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. All right, 7 means what? Completion. Whatever completes that man. An innumerable number. That's what it says. All right, like on the book of Elijah, the movie. And that woman was chasing him. She knew he was the way. He was the answer. All right. And in that day, right, because the Lord going to lift up his men. He has already made us different through the wisdom and understanding. And that should be a sign or a token for these women that have eyes to see. All right. And I don't really think a lot of women should get with the man because they might become a distraction to that man right now that's on a mission, trying to usher in the kingdom. They're not trying to get into his life and just be quiet and chill and do what he say, give good advice, give good friendship, peace of mind, and things like that. Then they need to just stay supportive where they're at, in the distance. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right, so that means that lets you know the system is going to be still up and running. It's going to be different. It's going to be different, man. The dollar going to crash. It's no longer going to be a paper currency. They're going to move away from fiat currency, just like Weimar Republic in Germany. All right. And then, and women gonna have to make a choice, man. That's gonna be a beautiful time, man. All right, this is all the power of the Lord, getting these women back in subjection under us. They can be mad as they want. They can be as mad as they want, man. But they're gonna be fighting against the pricks, hurting themselves, making it tougher on themselves. So they're gonna say, we'll eat our own bread. We don't need you to have no money. We don't need you to be rich. We don't need a Lil Wayne or none of these rappers. They just want to take away that blame because they know the judgment's coming. And scriptures say, still, let me get this. That's right. One second. That's right. Judgment. There you go. Salakia. This is Proverbs 11:4. Proverbs 11:4. It says, for riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death, man. You see that? So the men, they're going to be delivered from death, the men of the Lord. But riches are not going to profit. And what are women chasing from these, the wicked women are chasing from these men nowadays? Riches, money, success, fame, popularity, stability. But the Lord said what? Knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of that time. And that's all given to the man of the Lord. Look at that. All right, Isaiah 13:1. So all these women talking about get rich. You want you to get rich. That's right. This is Isaiah 13:11. I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, man. And a lot of these women are arrogant and they're proud. All right, not just Esau, not just a lot of 2/3 of the men in these other nations, but the women of our nation, the wicked ones, are proud. And he's going to cause that to stop. And I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Didn't Isaiah 4 or Isaiah chapter 3, he said the wicked women of our nation are haughty? See that? Moving in that spirit of Esau, being proud, and what they've been taught to be. Being proud and haughty against Israelite man. All right, they fell for the trick. And will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, Esau's system, all right? Esau and their system. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir, man. All right? That's right, so it's going to be precious, something hard to find. And he's doing that through blessing us to have this understanding and wisdom that's able to save our souls and deliver us, and those that believe and listen to us. All right? Here you go. This is Isaiah 32 and 2. No, Isaiah 32 and 1. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness. Who is that? Yahushua. See, righteousness. There it goes again. And princes shall rule in judgment. See, that's why you want to get it with a man of the Lord. You're about to rule. You don't wait till the last second. Just, you know. But the Lord going to make it happen. A man shall be as a hiding place from the wind. What's that? The destruction. A destroying wind. All these things going to be dissolved upon this earth. I mean, upon America, in America. So the Lord's saying, what type of person should you be in all your conversations, all your actions? Seeing that all these things are going to be dissolved. Everything that they love, everything that they like in this society is going to be dissolved. Burned up in the ashes. Only thing going to be left standing there is that man. A man of the Lord. Man of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. A man shall be as a hiding place. Not a building, not a government, not a tank. Not out of space. Not a bunker. Not in the house. Not a gun. But a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, meaning exempt from judgment. As rivers of water in a dry place, that's have an understanding, right? It's gonna be dry from no understanding. Lack of wisdom. So I'm gonna cut this heat off. Shit. Alright. So it says, as rivers of water in a dry place, man. It's gonna be a cry for wine in the streets. Nobody gonna have any answers. As the shadows of a great rock in a weary land, man. So it can be be able to cover the women. The women gonna be able to hide under a man's shadow. As that man hides under Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua's shadow. All right, it's gonna be enough to cover the whole house. That's right. So a man gonna be as a hiding place. All right. So with that, man, I think I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna get one more real quick. Right, add on to this John later. Because the women's jealousy, that's what's keeping the household apart, man. Okay? But right now, a woman will overlook you. You know, they see they want the men with the tattoos or the money and the riches. They want you to be out in the open and shit, in folly, the center of attention. But instead, a man of the Lord is gonna be what? Quiet and meek, bold in any situation. But it changes you being in His truth. You know, the Spirit of the Lord. In a good way. Like a certain focus or sharpness. Meditation. And the women have to join in that meditation. This spiritual walk. Forever. Not just for a little while. Oh, okay, we ain't get the kingdom yet. Oh, we ain't get this yet. Oh, when are you going to get this? How long do I have to deal with it? Listen, you need to move on. Leave that man alone. Let him continue his journey. Or other than that, shut the hell up. And be his not his backbone, but his comfort. You know, his kindness, his peace that he could find. You know. So 1 Corinthians 4:11. Even unto this present hour we both hunger and thirst and are naked and are buffeted and have no certain dwelling place. So that's the men. See, a lot of women, wicked women, will not respect that. They won't say, well, shit, I mean, you ain't, they be like, I mean, you ain't shit. Look at you, you're cursed. Why am I be with you then? Well, this is why, man, because the Lord said He's gonna raise that man up, and they're gonna sit on thrones one day, and they're gonna be the covering from the destruction and the judgment. Right? So what? We labor. We're working with our own hands, being reviled. We bless, man. We get hated by the system. We get hated by our own people. And we bless them by teaching the truth to our people. Being persecuted, we suffer it, man. We get persecuted on a daily basis. So a woman's supposed to be our peace of mind. Not going home and then you get persecuted there. You know, the scriptures say, man, you get with a woman, you're going to have trouble in the flesh. You're going to have to deal with some shit. You're going to have arguments, ups and downs. But, you know, that's why it's smart not to be a lion in your own household. You can fall for the trap that way. I say a woman could lead you two ways. A woman could leave you by usurping authority over you, or she can act like you're a lion and then pull from under you and get you to be the aggressor. And she show that you have no control over her in this time that we're in. So it's best to just trust the Lord and be the example for that woman. And let her do what she's going to do, man. If she's going to leave you, let her be. You chastise her with the scriptures. You give her some understanding. If she doesn't receive it, you don't go kill her and shit. You don't go beat the shit out of her. Now you beating the shit out of a woman, forcing her to stay with you when she hates you. And she don't want to be with you, man. And that can go any kind of way then, you know. Two miserable people at war with each other. So right now in these times, when they don't see us as that goal, you know, it's not yet seen what we shall be. But we know when he appears, we shall be as he is. Wow. And labor, right? We labor, we working with our hands. Being reviled, we bless. Being persecuted, we suffer it. Being defamed, we entreat. See, we're defamed right now. People lying on us, persecuting us, calling us terrorists and shit. Broke, poor, bums. We entreat. We are made as the filth of the world and are the offscouring of all things unto this day. Right? Even though a lot of women, they offscour at us. And we're defamed and we're called the filth of the world. Look at that. Look at that. I ain't messing with none of these niggas. See that? A nigga, that's what they call him. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're defamed, man. The offscouring of the world. But the Lord said what? Isaiah 14 and 2. All right, because he said 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. We don't need you to do all that and get that for us, because that's the duty of a man, is to provide for the women. But in this society, they have women live and all women provide for themselves. System takes care of the women better than the men. Isaiah 14 and 2. All right, 4, my bad, Salaki. Isaiah 4 and 1. In that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. They just want the name. See that? Ain't gonna be no scrubs then. They're gonna say, just give us your name. In that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious. That's the elect men. They're gonna be beautified and made glorified. And the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. All right. So yeah, man. The women gonna want to be with the men of the Lord in that day. They ain't gonna have no problem with being multiple wives to an angelic human being, a God amongst men. All right. Mark 10 and 29. This is Mark 10 and 29. And Yahushua answered and said, verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left house or brethren, or sister, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands for my sake and the gospel's, all right, but he shall receive an hundredfold. See, you got a wicked woman to leave her, man, or let her walk away from you, and you're gonna receive a hundredfold for trusting in the Lord. That's what we. That's our reward. That's part of our reward that we're waiting for. But he shall receive an hundredfold now in this time, in that time in the past, and now. So you can have multiple wives now, but you say you're gonna have trouble in the flesh. And if you got two wives, that's double trouble. You got triple wives, that's triple trouble, triple threat. You understand? So smarter to just deal with one. You may play the field or something like that, but too many diseases out here. Just chill. The Lord will throw you a bone, and you'll know it. All right. So, but he shall receive a hundredfold. See, everything we lost. In this time, houses and brethren and sisters and mothers. See, mothers. That's what mothers of children. Not many mothers. You're going to have mothers over your babies. And children, see, and lands with persecutions. And in the world to come, eternal life. So you're going to receive all of that, even in person. All is going to come with persecution, all right? But in the world to come, eternal life, man, to be able to enjoy it forever. Okay, so the Lord promises this, that we're going to get multiple wives and many children, because that's what we walked away from in this time. Jay could easily sell out. It wouldn't be so easy because the Lord controls it. But Jay could sell out and then go into the world and stop teaching and make millions of dollars in the matrix. And it would be all vanity. He would die in his iniquity. But the Lord said those that die in the truth, they're going to be raised up and they're going to inherit the kingdom. They're going to inherit eternal life. They're going to inherit a hundredfold. All right, a hundredfold, man. Not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hundredfold. I mean, whatever completes that, man. All right, 1 Corinthians 7:27. Art thou bound to a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. So if you got a wife, you chill with her, man. If you got 2 wives, stay in your situation. But if you got no wife, don't go out in the streets desiring love. I need a woman to care about me. Or yelling out to the jungle for a response, and the damn demon gonna respond, or a snake. A woman, a wicked woman. So you want to wait for the Lord to send you, or the timing to be right. You just know it, man. And next thing you look, that woman will be right there with you. Next thing you look, it might be 2 with you. But the women have to agree. They have to understand their place in the truth, their teamwork that's needed. That's where it starts at, the jealousy. That's the core. That's the demonic, that's the demon that's dividing these women from getting with one man. It's not just dividing the man and the women. It's dividing these women from having sisters. All right? And unity and righteousness, man. All hell break loose. They got a bridge and pillars so the house don't fall. Children have an umbrella over them of different women with the same mind, taught by that man that loves those children. Man, it's so much. All right? But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. See, if you do get a wife, you're not wicked for that. And you have sex with a woman, I ain't talking about go get a ring on it. You go get a ring, you did a pagan marriage. You went the Roman style. The Lord said you married, if you pop that woman, that's your wife. She have not sinned, right? So, but if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she have not sinned, right? If she's not a virgin and she has sex with multiple men, then she's under sin. She's an abomination. So that's the answer to that woman's question earlier. What if a woman did it? What if she had multiple men? Well, she would be considered under sin, an abomination to the Lord, man. A vessel fit for destruction. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you, right? Because you're going to have trouble in this flesh in these times, man, because of the times that we're in. You know, when the wicked are in power, all the people mourn. So if you have a household, you're gonna have some joyous times in the spirit, but you're gonna have all kind of shit pulling at your household to destroy it and to tear it down. That's why the woman has to pluck from the leaves of the mind of the husband, so she can be healed, and grow by it. All right, so I'm gonna end it there, man. And yeah, a man can have more than one wife. Multiple wives are in the scriptures, and people just looking at it based upon their emotions and jealousy, and that's what's gonna get them destroyed.